Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Walter, what's going on, man?
Not much. How are you?
Pretty good. Let me go ahead and get rid of this overlay that I have sitting right in front of your face.
Okay.
For everybody that doesn't know, WalterFootball.com is an amazing site to get rookie write-ups and rookie rankings. And Walter, let me start off by just saying thanks for coming on the show. And can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your site, how you got started, how many years ago you got started, and kind of what you do?
Yeah, we started actually it was in 1999, so it was almost 20 years. It was a project in our high school internet class, and we had to make a website on something we liked. And I was like, I like football, so I just made a football website, and then it turned into a hobby. And then it became my full-time job eventually. And, I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. And we cover everything, everything football related, fantasy football, NFL draft. We grade every free agency signing and power rankings and whatnot. So, yeah, everything football we have on our site.
So this is what you do full-time?
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. Can you describe, what are the most sought-after features on your site? Like, what are you totally known for? Like, what's your bread and butter?
I would say it's definitely our mock drafts. It's funny because you would think that the NFL season would be our peak traffic, but it's actually the NFL draft season. March and April are our biggest traffic months, especially the NFL draft weekend. Those 3 days are our biggest traffic days. So people love the NFL draft, and I always thought it was because it's like a confluence of college football fans who want to see where their favorite players are going to be playing, and the NFL fans who want to see their team improve.
Yeah. Can you give some of the listeners and viewers one of your sleeper rookie running backs that you think that's getting overlooked? We talked about L.J. Scott a minute ago. He's one of my deeper sleepers that I think that could get some buzz heading into the draft, or at least after the draft. He's also a guy that can get completely overlooked, I think, by all the teams, which would kind of like Philip Lindsay make him irrelevant to start the year, make more of a stash type grab. What player for you has that kind of upside and kind of disguise heading into the 2019 draft?
I actually think Scott's a good one. He has underrated speed. I think he could be a good player. I don't. It's tough to say where these players are going to go right now. I think Darrell Henderson from Memphis is a good one. He's a pretty explosive player. He's not a running back who's going to be able to carry the ball 20 plus times per game. But he kind of reminds me of Philip Lindsay in that way. In that Lindsay didn't carry the ball 20 times in any game last year, and yet he was super productive as a rookie. And I think Henderson could be the same way. I also like Wes Hills from Slippery Rock. Level competition's a factor, but I mean he did well in the pre-draft All-Star games, and he has good size and speed, so I think he could be a good player. He's probably going to go in the 4th or 5th round, but I think he's going to be good.
Good. And what about a wide receiver who you kind of like, and who do you think could be not only the number one wide receiver, but another sleeper that might get overlooked, at least now, but maybe not get overlooked when all is said and done and the draft's over and people are like, this is the new wide receiver too in the rookie drafts?
I think A.J. Brown's probably going to be the number one receiver. He's not an explosive guy like Julio Jones or A.J. Green. He's not on that level. But he's probably a second tier draft prospect. But in this class, it's not a strong receiver class. So I think he's going to be the number one receiver. Although his teammate DK Metcalf, he's more athletic than Brown is, but he wasn't productive, nearly as productive. So it's kind of the production versus upside argument. So I think those two receivers are going to be the first two taken. As for kind of a later player, I think Riley Ridley from Georgia is someone who has a ton of potential. He could be a stud. He's probably going to go on day 2 at some point because he wasn't that productive at Georgia, but he has a chance to be a stud.
I like Riley a lot. I think he could be really good. So I think you're spot on there. N'Keal Harry is my number one rookie wide receiver. I think he is going to be the next Terrell Owens. I know that's bold. I know a lot of people don't really have him as the number one guy. But what do you think of Harry? Do you think that? What do you think of that prediction?
I like Harry too, but so I was surprised when we talked to some teams and none of them had him in the first round. They all think he's going to go in the second or third, maybe even the fourth. They think that maybe his ability to separate it might be an issue. I don't know about that. I thought he looked good at Arizona State. I was shocked because we had him in the first round of our mock drafts at some point, but then we talked to these teams and like none of them had him in the first round, so we moved him to day 2.
Which is crazy to me because he has all the intangibles. He has the size. He has the ability to dominate the space around him, kind of like Terrell Owens did. It took Terrell Owens a little while to figure out how strong he was, to learn his own spatial awareness. I mean, being spatially smart and knowing, how to use your size, your body. That's what Calvin Johnson learned and did. I think that's what in Terrell Owens. I think that's what I see in this kid, and I think regardless of where the scouts have it wrong all the time. I think this is the guy that emerges a year or two from now, and that's my prediction. And I have a similar prediction out of Devin Singletary being the number 1 fantasy rookie running back from this class. And I think that the buzz, I like Montgomery a lot too. I think both of these guys could be amazing, but I think Singletary, if drafted into the right spot, if a few teams buy into it, if he has a great combine, I think he rises fantasy draft boards and becomes a guy that people consider at the 1.01. But of course, everything matters based on landing spot. But I'm curious to know what you think of Singletary and his skill set and his potential to be an elite fantasy guy.
I like Singletary a lot. I think he's going to go in the second round. I actually have him going to Miami in the second round. He has great patience, and he can break through a lot of tackles. Like he doesn't have great long speed, but otherwise he seems like a pretty good draft prospect. So, like you said, it really depends on where these guys get drafted. It's all about opportunity and what sort of blocking they have, and whether they can win the job or not right away. So I could definitely see Singletary being the RB1 this year for sure.
Yeah, that's good take. I always like Walter football. I've followed your stuff for a long time, especially the mock draft stuff. When I'm getting into gear, I definitely check you out. I think you have good content, and I'd love to collaborate with you in the future with other things. Have you on the show often. And I actually am starting an Instagram expert league, and Walter, you're in that league. So can't wait to have you in that and talk more with you about all this stuff. But plug your site, let people know where they can find you, and any last things you'd like to say, any predictions or just things you want to talk about.
I'm looking forward to the league. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on in the league and on the show. You can find me at walterfootball.com. We have 2019, 2020, and actually 2021 NFL mock drafts on the site. We just, it's a lot of fun to do it. Like we have number 1 overall in our 2021 mock draft is Trevor Lawrence going to the Packers. It was just kind of a random order, but if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, kind of like Peyton Manning did, the Packers could replace him, kind of like they did with Andrew Luck.
Wow.
But it's I don't know. That's how random.org came up with the order. So
I do a lot of mock draft stuff as well. I think you list my site on yours when I update it, and I haven't updated the mock draft yet. I need to get that up so you can toss that up on your database, which is an awesome database. Let me throw these comments up. So we got that one. We got that topic out of the way. Here is he loves what the crap man's one of my avid longtime users. He just wanted to shout out and tell you that he loves your site and your content. So I'll throw that up there.
Awesome.
One thing I was saying that I always get is a lot of heat for any mock draft I do, and I'm sure you get it too. The hate mail is probably greater on mock drafts than anywhere in the business of fantasy football, NFL writing, any kind of journalism whatsoever. People get so upset that you said a certain team's going to draft a certain position or a player. I don't think you could ever post a mock draft that would get no negative comments. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's definitely accurate. No matter what you do, you're going to get a hate post. Like you could post like Team X will draft this player, and then a fan from that team will say, no, you should mock so and so to them. And then you're like, you think about it, you're like, okay, that kind of makes sense. So you mock that other player to them, and then another fan from that team is like, no, you're an idiot. You should mock the first player to them. That's kind of how it is, but I guess it's sort of a good thing because it just shows how passionate people are about the NFL draft, and it is awesome. So just to get that sort of feedback, the negative feedback can at first it was kind of bothersome like a long time time ago, but now like I've gotten so much that it's kind of it's like more funny than anything at this point.
Yeah. I get a lot of that. A lot of what I do, bold prediction type stuff, and I don't just throw darts at a dartboard. A lot of people say that about me, but I've been doing it since 2004. Pretty awesome track record. Not trying to brag or anything, but my testimonials, my users will say, I hit on a lot of these bold predictions. There's a lot of sound reason to it, but a lot of what I do is gut instinct mixed with, some stuff. So like just watching Todd Gurley and predicting a potential huge bust campaign for him in 2019 is rubbing people the wrong way because they're saying, he's just hurt or, whatnot. So I feel you. I think we get probably the same kind of negative comments and stuff like that go along with all the positive. And the way I take it is similar fashion is like, it's part of, what makes my content attractive is because I'm trying to go ahead of the curve, and you can't go ahead of the curve. And this with all your 2020 and 2021 and your 2057 mock draft down the road. You can't predict things without making a lot of assumptions, which are going to piss off a lot of people. So I respect what you do and how you go out on a limb. It's similar to what I do, and I just think it's awesome. So how do you, if you don't mind me asking just for the business aspect, I think people are always interested in this, but what is it that you generate most profit from? Is it advertising? Is it ad revenue? Or is there a draft kit or a package people can buy?
We don't sell anything, so it's all free. So it's all ad revenue. Some people have complained that we have too many ads on the site, and we've actually removed some ads recently. So hopefully the site runs faster. But it's all ad revenue, and we have several people working for us, including Charlie Campbell, who does some great work with the NFL draft. I mean, it's amazing that like Charlie just talks to anyone, like everyone, like in the NFL, like I'll be talking to him and he'll say, I talked to the GM of this team, and then he'll tell me what that team's going to do, and they do it, and it's just amazing how many contacts he has. So we feature Charlie's mock drafts as well, and then we have other fantasy rankings from Czech Gresham and whatnot. So yeah, we have a team of 5 or 6 people. So
that's awesome, Walter. I mean, that's definitely what I'm doing with the fantasy football show. Is making fantasy football free to everybody, getting it out there. I still have Sleeper U, where I have a lot of my rankings and bold predictions and all kinds of things that are worth the price of admission there. I don't think that's that's never going to go away. That's my bread and butter. That's my core user base. But the fantasy football show, I want to be available to anybody. It gets so big that it's ad driven, and I think that we're going to get there. So definitely love having you on. I appreciate you coming on, and we want to have you on in the future, not just on the live shows that we do here and there, but just do some kind of rookie spotlight and talk about some mock drafts. So maybe have you roll through a mock draft for us, not 2050 or beyond, but maybe 2020. You can start there. And we need to ease into that. We're a dynasty site, but you are like, you're predicting people are dead, and then you're predicting the people that take over. That's a little too far in advance for us. But it's fun, and man, I'm going to tell everybody to check you out every chance I get. So I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, I really appreciate it too. And it's kind of hard to do a mock draft when the prospects aren't born yet. So it's a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks. I appreciate you having coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon, Walter. Thank you.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
Bye.
So there you have it, guys. Walter Football. What a good guy he is. Very genuine person, from what I can tell, and has an amazing product, amazing site. Awesome content that's been there for a long time, very reliable. So if you need a site to go to for mock drafts and stuff, that's Walter Football. Don't go too far. Don't stray too far from sleeperu.com or thefantasyfootballshow.com.